This script unfolds as an emotional, dramatic narrative designed to draw viewers into a story of shock, grief, and reflection. It uses the familiar presence of a beloved television figure to explore themes that resonate far beyond celebrity culture, touching on family, loss, and shared humanity. Told in a suspense-driven, almost documentary tone, the piece is structured to first build trust and admiration, then abruptly confront the audience with tragedy. What follows is not just a recounting of sorrow, but an exploration of how public figures are humanized in moments of pain, how audiences emotionally respond, and how stories of loss are framed to leave lasting impact. The summary below explains the script's progression, tone, and emotional intent, without treating the narrative as verified fact, but rather as a constructed story meant to provoke empathy and reflection. Say a warm welcome that builds trust. The script opens in a familiar YouTube-style greeting, immediately creating a sense of comfort and routine. By welcoming viewers warmly and encouraging them to subscribe, the narrator establishes a friendly, almost communal atmosphere. This opening mirrors countless entertainment videos, lowering emotional defenses and preparing the audience for what feels like a normal, engaging segment. The casual tone makes viewers feel included, as if they are part of an ongoing conversation rather than passive listeners. This sense of normalcy is important because it contrasts sharply with the heavy emotional turn that follows. The opening functions as a psychological setup, making the eventual shift toward tragedy feel more jarring and impactful. It subtly reinforces trust in the narrators, encouraging viewers to stay engaged, believing they are about to hear something meaningful and significant. Celebrating a beloved public figure. The narrative then transitions into praise and admiration, focusing on Ripa as a familiar and cherished presence in many households. She is portrayed as vibrant, witty, and full of life, someone audiences feel they know personally. This section emphasizes her long-standing career and the emotional connection viewers have formed with her over the years. By highlighting her energy and warmth, the script deepens the sense of affection and respect. This admiration is not limited to her professional success, but extends to her perceived authenticity. The goal here is to remind viewers why she matters to them emotionally, reinforcing the idea that what affects her will also affect them. It is a deliberate build-up of emotional investment before introducing darker themes. The idealized family image attention then shifts to Ripa's family life, presenting it as an ideal blend of love, success, and stability. Her marriage and children are described as symbols of balance and happiness, a modern family many admire. Social media glimpses and interviews are referenced to show a household full of laughter, support, and connection. This portrayal serves to elevate the family as aspirational, yet relatable. By framing them as seemingly having everything, the script strengthens the emotional contrast that follows. The family is not depicted as distant celebrities, but as parents and children navigating life together. This idealized image makes the suggestion of tragedy feel even more devastating, reinforcing the message that loss can strike anyone, regardless of status or success. A sudden shift into darkness. The tone dramatically changes as the script introduces the claim of devastating news. The language becomes heavier and more solemn, signaling that something profoundly wrong has occurred. The narrator emphasizes shock and disbelief, describing the information as something that reverberates through the entertainment world and beyond. This section relies on emotional intensity rather than factual detail, focusing on how the news feels rather than what exactly happened. The suddenness of the shift mirrors how unexpected tragedy often enters real life. By stressing how unimaginable the situation is, the script encourages viewers to emotionally place themselves in the family's position. It marks the moment where admiration turns into sorrow. Collective shock and shared grief. Following the announcement, the script explores the public reaction. Social media silence, disbelief, and widespread sadness are highlighted to show how deeply the story resonates. The audience is reminded that this is not just celebrity news, but something that touches parents, grandparents, and families everywhere. The narrator frames the reaction as a collective emotional experience, where millions feel connected through empathy and heartbreak. This shared grief is used to blur the line between public figures and private individuals. The emphasis is not on verified details, but on emotional response, underscoring how powerful stories of loss can unite people in sorrow. Questions without answers. As the initial shock settles, the script introduces unanswered questions. Viewers are guided through the natural human response to tragedy, wanting to understand why and how it happened. The absence of clear details is portrayed as both painful and unsettling. This uncertainty keeps emotional tension high while respecting, at least narratively, the idea of privacy. The script uses speculation carefully, focusing more on the emotional weight of not knowing than on specifics. This section reflects how, in moments of loss, questions often linger without resolution, adding to the pain rather than easing it. A mother's grief in the spotlight. One of the emotional centers of the script is the depiction of Ripa's grief as a mother. She is shown not as a polished television host, but as a parent overwhelmed by loss. Tears, a trembling voice, and raw emotion replace her usual composure. This portrayal is meant to strip away celebrity distance and present her as universally relatable. The script emphasizes that beneath fame and success lies a mother's love and pain. This section is designed to resonate deeply with anyone who has experienced or feared such loss, reinforcing the idea that grief is a shared human experience. Silence. After the storm. After the public expression of sorrow, the narrative shifts into silence. The absence of social media updates and public appearances is described as heavy and meaningful. This quiet is portrayed as a natural response to profound loss, yet it also fuels public speculation. The contrast between former vibrancy and current stillness amplifies the sense of absence. Silence becomes a symbol of grief, representing words that cannot be found and emotions too heavy to share. This part of the script highlights how absence itself can speak volumes, especially when a family once so visible retreats from view. Hints of a sudden tragedy. Gradually, the script suggests that the loss was sudden and unexpected, possibly the result of an accident. Details remain vague, emphasizing abruptness rather than cause. This framing reinforces the theme of life's fragility and unpredictability. The lack of preparation, goodbyes, or warning is presented as one of the most painful aspects of the story. By focusing on the suddenness, the script underscores how quickly normal life can be shattered. This section avoids technical explanation, choosing instead to dwell on emotional impact and the cruelty of unexpected loss. A family holding together. Attention then turns to the family's internal strength. Kelly's husband is portrayed as a protective and steady presence, supporting his wife and children while managing his own grief. The surviving children are described as rallying together, finding strength in shared memories and mutual support. This section highlights resilience not as the absence of pain, but as the determination to endure it together. The family home is symbolized as both a place of sorrow and love, showing how grief and connection coexist. It reinforces the idea that healing, however slow, begins within unity. An outpouring of public support. The script then widens its lens again to include the global response. Fans, colleagues, and fellow celebrities are described as offering condolences and support. Social media becomes a space of tribute rather than speculation. Even media outlets are portrayed as handling the story with unusual sensitivity. This collective compassion is framed as a reminder that empathy can transcend entertainment and rivalry. The support is not depicted as curing grief, but as a surrounding presence, offering comfort and acknowledgement. It shows how public figures, despite their visibility, still rely on human connection in times of loss. Strength in brief words. The narrative concludes with mention of a short, heartfelt family statement. Its brevity is portrayed as a sign of both exhaustion and strength. Rather than providing details, it focuses on gratitude and privacy. This ending reinforces the script's central themes: love, loss, and resilience. The lack of elaboration leaves space for reflection, allowing viewers to sit with their emotions rather than seek closure. The story closes not with answers, but with quiet respect, reminding audiences that some grief cannot be explained, only honored.